Having once again been bitten by the racing game bug, this reviewer stumbled upon a game in the latest PSN sale that a good friend had suggested to him a long time ago. At that time though, other games from other genres were taking up far too much of this player's time for him to even take a glance. Having no prior knowledge of The Crew 2, or indeed its predecessor The Crew, the game's name suggested something that would be very similar to Need for Speed Heat, in that it would be focused on street racing in largely suburban areas, involving mostly mid-range priced cars that had been modified for a variety of races. This expectation though wasn't only going to be blown off the track, but out of the water and into the sky. The Crew 2 is an absolutely extraordinary gaming experience which has exceeded any expectations this reviewer may have had, especially when compared to Need for Speed Heat, which by comparison seems like an aperitif, not even an entree. The Crew 2 then being a majestic banquet. Released in June of 2018, The Crew 2 is not just a driving game, but a driving and piloting game, featuring almost every type of vehicle that it is possible to race with, from street cars through to hypercars, drift cars, drag racing cars, motocross bikes, rally cars, off-road cars, powerboats, touring cars, Grand Prix cars, stunt planes, racing planes, monster trucks, and even hovercrafts. A vast array of different vehicles grouped into different specialities, each division of speciality offering a variety of race events. Here, the Crew 2 really shines, as in each of these speciality divisions, the game director Stefan Belli and lead designer Boris Mellet have allowed the studio, Ubisoft's Ivory Tower, to incorporate some wonderful and imaginative race variations, resulting in players often being pleasantly surprised by novel ideas and different takes on the standardized idea of racing around a circuit. In some ways, this huge collection of race events would have been enough, but The Crew 2 features a scaled-down, open-world map of almost all of the United States. A player can, for example, drive from New York to San Francisco, and indeed some of the tasks, named stories, call for players to roam around the US in treasure hunts. There is so much to do and discover that it is actually rather overwhelming at first, but there is almost total freedom to do what you want here. The only barrier is purchasing vehicles, which really doesn't take too long to accomplish, as you are awarded both cash and experience for every race that you win. Aside from this, you will be given a variety of vehicles for free to get you going. Vehicle modelling is of the highest standard, with a huge range of customization options. All of the driving and piloting disciplines are grouped into 4 main areas. These 4 hubs then act as a launching point for the Crew 2's non-linear storyline, which revolves around you rising from a novice to a renowned star. When you progress enough in each of the 4 areas, through the different disciplines, you will then be able to face off against a special opponent. These race events show off a spectacular and unique idea in which you will transition from one racing vehicle to another during the race. This is both spectacular and challenging. Of course, no game is perfect, and The Crew 2 does have some weaknesses. Firstly, The Crew 2 is an online-only game. As with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, quite why this is baffling, as the game is largely aimed at solo play. An offline mode would have been appreciated. The cutscenes are not well crafted at all. Mouth movements are completely out of sync, and it all looks extremely dated. For this reviewer, the handbrake function for many driving specialities just didn't work at all for handbrake turns, something that he had become accustomed in doing for hypercars in Need for Speed Heat. There is a rather steep learning curve in getting accustomed to braking and accelerating in the game. For this reviewer, flying was ridiculously difficult, not only because the controller mapping was badly implemented, but also because it seems that the designers don't understand that when a plane banks, in other words one wing is higher than another, the plane will turn. However, here you have to also push the joystick down. Yes, a plane will continue in a straight line while the wings are not parallel. As far as this reviewer is aware, this is not how a plane works. The soundtrack is magnificent. There is a wide range of different types of music here, from lovely ambient themes to hip-hop, to rock, to Latin music, and even some incredible classical pieces such as Dvorak's Ninth Symphony. Steve Oumet provides some spirited original pieces that emphasize the game's American setting. As ever, Ubisoft continues to support The Crew 2 long after its launch, with different seasonal events and weekly updates and challenges. The Crew 2 is an absolutely magnificent celebration of the widest variety of vehicular events this reviewer has seen in one game, outside perhaps Grand Theft Auto 5. A constantly surprising and rewarding gaming experience.
I'm on a road unaware, leading me your way. But at the end of it all,